So, Mr. Lavrov, see, this American flag really caught my eye, together with the Russian flag, I think. I think there is a privileged partnership between these two flags, or at least the people behind them. So, question to you.
Delegation. I'm Christopher Helali, the Vice Chair of the U.S. delegation. We are honored to be here in Russia. We are honored to break the blockade and the sanctions of the United States on Russia.
Большое спасибо. Я вице-председатель нашей американской делегации, и я рад прорвать блокаду и санкции, введенные Западом в отношении России.
We want to say that as young people, we want to be friends, we want to work together, and we want to build a new world where we are not the hegemon, but we are equals together, and we respect each other. That's what we want.
Мы молодежь, и мы хотим дружить, мы хотим работать сообща, и мы хотим создавать новый мир, где мы не будем гегемонами, а где мы все будем равными. Вот что я хотел сказать.
I would like to ask you, Your Excellency, what you think about the upcoming elections and what your hopes and aspirations are for hopefully a renewed dialogue and hopefully a new relationship with the United States. We will work hard, but what are your thoughts on it?
Мой вопрос будет связан с предстоящими выборами в Соединенных Штатах Америки. Каковы ваши надежды, каковы ваши чаяния на возобновление, я надеюсь, диалога между нашими странами? Потому что мы будем работать усердно над этим вопросом, но каково ваше мнение, ваша точка зрения, пожалуйста?
Спасибо. Ну, во-первых, Соединенные Штаты – это великая держава.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, the United States is a great power, with a great nation, with a great history of fighting for their independence. This history has its ups and downs. There are many talks recently about how this history has developed, but in any fair world order, should we call it multipolar or polycentric, in any world order where there are several centers of power, and they are centers of power and influence already, of course, the United States will be one of the leading states in any such center of power, at least in the Western group, but not only that, not only there, but in other regions as well. It's absolutely possible if the United States is guided by the principles that you mentioned here, the United States still going to play a crucial role in many areas of the globe. And as for the US election prospects, as our president said, we will work with any president the United Nations chooses, but it's going to depend on the set of ideas they use on the Russian track, the new administration. We remember when Obama lost the election, when Hillary Clinton lost to Trump and Obama in December 2016, I guess. I have no doubt, just to let off steam, ousted Russian diplomats with their families from the country, a total of 120 people, late in December, 3 weeks before Trump's inauguration. And the deadline for the diplomats leaving Washington was timed exactly for the day when there were no direct flight from Washington to Moscow. There was only one flight from New York. So they had to drive more than 200 miles with children and belongings and families, so it was not exactly the most humane of stories. And back then, the future workers of the Republican administration called us and said that it's more a blow to Trump than to Russia, because Obama did this deliberately to plant a mine under Russian-American relationships since day one of Trump's tenure. So on the first day of Trump's presidency, relationships with Russia were, well, marred. We understood perfectly that Obama did that on purpose to achieve the desired effect. Then we began our dialogue with the Trump administration to get things back to normal, in our diplomatic presence in the United States. But it didn't work out. And Obama simply took away 5 items of diplomatic property, which we never got back. And then it just spiraled down, and it's been spiraling down ever since. Well, there are contacts on expert level devoted to, ensuring that diplomats can work anyhow. Because we had cases of, banks refusing to transfer money to provide sustenance, basically, to diplomats. And now they're coming up with initiatives like let's not deploy nuclear armaments in space, let's meet as if nothing had happened. We do have to win, to defeat you in Ukraine on the battlefield, but as for everything else, let's just discuss other things. Well, as the president said, it's laughable, it's unnatural. We don't have any negative feelings to American people. I have very many good friends in the United States. Well, let the people decide. There's so much on the agenda of the Congress and the Biden administration that deals with crucial decisions, things to decide and to do for those who are coming to power in America. Migration problems, poverty problems, other issues of the country's development. We saw the state that the city of San Francisco is one of the U.S. most beautiful cities. When the APEC session took place there, media correspondents were shown how people are living on the streets there. So either they get down to solving those issues that are critical for the American voter, or they continue pumping insane amounts of money into Ukraine's regime. And we're now, Pentagon inspectors are now going to Ukraine just to get an idea where the money is going without any accounting. And it's the same in Europe. When Annalena Baerbock was asked, does it bother her that Germany's living standards are deteriorating? And she said, yes, food is getting more expensive and power is getting more expensive, but we have to sacrifice everything to make sure Ukraine wins. If the American officials have the same position in relation to the Russian people, well, we're going to have a hard time reaching an agreement, but we are always open to dialogue if it's going on a serious and unilateral basis.